Hello traders and investors, welcome back to the Trend Trader channel. In today's video, I'm going to share with you some of the American companies that you can buy in your portfolio. These companies, depending on how you structure them, you can structure your portfolio so that you receive dividends each and every month. These companies, remember in the US, companies pay dividends every quarter. So it's not that each company is going to pay you dividend each and every month. The way that you can structure your portfolio so that you receive dividends each and every month by buying these companies that pays dividend on different quarters. Before we proceed, I would like to ask that you consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed, and if you find value in this video, please smash the like button. Also, feel free to share this video with as many people as possible. By subscribing to the YouTube channel, you continue to encourage us to continue to make these videos. So let's look at the video. Like I said, these companies will pay you dividends on different quarters. The way that I've arranged them, the companies that are in blue, they will pay you dividends in January, April, July, and October. And the companies that are in orange will pay you dividends from February, May, August, and November. And the last companies in green, they will pay you dividends in March, June, September, and December. As you can see, the blocks are staggered. You can see that if you buy the companies in blue, and then you buy a company in orange, and you buy a company in green, then each and every month you will be in a position to receive a dividend. Something that you need to keep in mind is that this is based on previous information. We don't know what is going to happen in the future. At the moment, you can see all these companies, they have a positive dividend yield, meaning that these companies have paid a dividend at least in the past 12 months. Depending on the economic circumstances in the United States and how these companies perform, some of the things that can change. For example, at any time, a company, depending on the challenges that it experiences in the business, a company can stop paying dividend. So just by buying these companies does not guarantee you that you will receive dividends at all times. You are only going to receive a dividend if and only if these companies continue to pay dividends. The good thing about the list of these companies is that they are coming from different sectors. So we know during inflation, some companies will suffer, but some companies will perform better than other companies. Even during bear markets, there are companies that are severely affected by the bear market, but also there are companies that are not severely affected by the bear market. So this can give you an opportunity to create some sort of a diversified portfolio that can result in a dividend income. The amount of dividend that you can receive from each company depends on the number of shares that you are buying. So in this case, we will just make an assumption that you buy one share per company. Then you can look at the dividend amount that the company has paid in the previous 12 months. This amount represents, remember, these companies, they pay dividends per quarter. So this is the sum of all the quarterly dividend. It's not that each company is going to pay you, in this case of Altria, it's not that Altria is going to pay you $3.76 in January. It means that over the past 12 months going backwards, the sum of those quarterly dividends has added into $3.76. Same with the dividend yield. The dividend yield take into consideration the full year dividend payment, not a quarterly payment. So when we talk about 8.26% dividend yield, we are talking over a 12 months period. We are not talking over the previous quarter. If you're a South African and you are using EasyEquities as your broker, some of these companies are available on EasyEquities. But the video is intended for anyone that wants to invest for monthly dividend payment. It's not necessarily targeted at South African investors or investors that use EasyEquities. But if you are a South African and you're using EasyEquities as your broker, you can find some of these companies. The reason why I'm saying some of these companies is because I haven't went to the EasyEquities to check if all these companies are available, but majority of these companies are available on EasyEquities. Almost all of these companies are available on EasyEquities. So we can see for the companies that pay dividend in January, April, July, and October, we have Altria, which is a tobacco company. Then there is Nike, Cisco Systems. Cisco System is in ICT. Then there's a real estate investment trust in the form of American Tower Corporation. Then there's a financial stocks, JP Morgan and Chase. You can see that all these companies, they can pay you a decent amount of dividends, just shy of $15 per year, if you add all this amount that you can receive from these companies. Then when you look at the companies that will pay you dividends from February, May, August, and November, we see that is Apple. Nobody needs to explain Apple. Everybody knows what is happening with Apple. It's a tech company. They have a stack of cash in their balance sheet. And then there's Lowe's companies, which is in the DIY sector. And also, majority of the people, they know Starbucks Corporation. So we see that Starbucks pays around $2.12 there, a dividend. And then there's an AbbVie Incorporation. This is a pharmaceutical company that has performed well in year 2022. We saw that this year we were experiencing a bear market, but AbbVie is one of the companies that remained positive in year 22 or year to date. And this stock is going to pay you $5.92. And then there's also another stock that is in the healthcare sector, which is CVS. And at the bottom, the stocks that can pay you dividends from March, June, September, and December. We see Microsoft Corporation. It's one of the other big companies, stock that has paid dividend for so many years. And also we see McDonald's. McDonald's is one of those companies that have paid a dividend at least for the past 30 years, and some of the dividends have been growing. So if you invest in McDonald's Corporation, you can expect to receive $6 in a period of 12 months or in a year. And then at the bottom, you see that there is Home Depot, another DIY company, which is a competitor to Lowe's company. And this stock can pay you around $7.60 in a year. And finally, we have another pharmaceutical company that competes with companies such as AbbVie. So we see Johnson & Johnson there. The stock can pay you $4.52. This list is just a brief of companies that can pay you, that you can structure in your portfolio to give you monthly dividends. It is by no means a comprehensive list. We know that there are companies that are not in this list. For example, we have a video where we spoke about companies that can pay you monthly dividends. That list includes companies such as Realty Income, which can pay you monthly dividend. That company pays dividend each and every month. There is also Main Street Capital, and there is Stark Industrial. In addition to the companies, there is also an ETF, QYLD. We will leave a link to that video so that you can watch that video and see the companies that can pay you monthly dividends. But the purpose of this video is to show you these companies that you can structure your portfolio so that you receive monthly dividends. One thing that we have shown as well, we have shown the current share price. We can get this information from Google Finance. We will leave this spreadsheet in the comment section. Then you can download this spreadsheet. As long as you are using it with internet connection, then the current prices will always auto update. What will not auto update is the dividend yield and the dividend. Like we said, these things can change, but you can find this information either via Google Finance, Yahoo Finance. There are so many websites where you can find information regarding dividend yield and dividend for companies. We can see that in terms of share prices, the companies that they differ, starting from the lowest, which is about, let me check which one is the lowest. The lowest is about $44.52, which is a Cisco System. We see Cisco System has a dividend yield of just about 3.4%, and it pays about $1.52 that you can get there. And then the most expensive share price in this case, we see there is $2.84 from Home Depot, which is followed by McDonald's at $2.74. Both companies have a dividend yield that is just below 3% dividend yield, but each stock pays around $7. So depending on how much money you want to put in a company, you can decide how you structure it. But again, if you want to receive monthly dividends, even though you may not buy all the companies within a certain group, you can pick certain companies, and then you can also add anything that you use to evaluate companies, whether you use fundamental analysis or value investing, or you use technical analysis to make a decision. But at least now you can zero in at a specific group, and then you pick the best company within that specific group, and then you do that for each and every group, so that at the end of the day in your portfolio you have stocks from all these groups. By doing so, you will then be able to receive that monthly dividend. So that's it that I wanted to share with you today. If you found value in this video, please don't forget to smash that like button, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. We believe that most of these companies, they have a potential to exist for so many years to come. And then if you can buy some of these companies, because of the bear market that we're experiencing, they have actually dropped in terms of the share price. So then you can do your own analysis so that you make informed decision on which companies you are going to buy, and whether there are some companies that can be considered to be bargain, or they are trading way so undervalued, which can potentially make them cheap. But there, we're not saying that there's a company that is cheap in terms of value. You do need to do additional part from your side to ensure that you are making an informed decision. And this is not an investment advice. I'm just sharing information. So that's it. I will see you in the next video.